Because the next match, one of the participants was not for anyone. Malakai Black and Andrade Oliolio against Cody and Pac. And they've interconnected all these people to where, yes, it does make sense based on what they've done on television that these reluctant partners would be on each team and et cetera. It's just it wasn't really great booking. It makes sense that they did something to lead up to this. This didn't just drop in out of nowhere, but it still doesn't make any sense. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. To me, Malakai Black coexisting with a tag team partner and his tag team partner's stooge assistant that he doesn't really like makes him, to me, a little less spooky. Doesn't it to you?
I wouldn't have him aligned with anyone, but that's just me.
That's what I'm saying. You've not only got him aligned with another heel who is an independent person with his own stooge, but they're reluctant partners. Well, if they're reluctant partners, it like you said, Malakai Black needs to be on his own and or have someone totally subservient to him involved with him if they need somebody. And this whole match was both teams would force tags on the other one because they didn't want to be working together, but they would keep forcing backslap tags, which, as we all know, aren't legal anyway. And every time they do a slap on the back, the referee go, okay, tag. No, it's not. It's not. It's not a legal tag. And it's not that hard if somebody's back is turned to slap their hand instead of their shoulder. All they have to do is reach out and lean on the top rope while they're looking at somebody, bam, or whatever. You can still do the same thing they were doing, but you could actually do it where it's by the rules and would make some sense in the context. But instead, they're just making themselves look like they don't know what the rules are because they don't, and the referees look like idiots because they don't know what the rules are, and that's their only job. So it got old real quick when they kept doing that. The only person in the match, think about this now, Malakai Black, picture him in your mind. Andrade Oliolio with his assistant, picture them. Pac, the dirty bastard. The only person in the match who doesn't look like a stone cold heel is Cody Rhodes, and he's the only one that they're booing. They love the heels. They hate the babyface. Should we explain now why that should be no such thing called a Cody cutter?
I'd like to hear this, yes.
Okay, and there should be no such thing as a cutter, period, besides if it's done by Diamond Dallas Page. Because that's not, the name of that move doesn't make any sense unless it's linked with Diamond Dallas Page, because Diamond Dallas Page is diamond, the diamond sign. Everybody, what do you do to diamonds? You cut them, but they're the hardest surface, on earth or substance or whatever. So the diamond cutter, as a move being done by a guy with a theme and a nickname and a personality surrounding diamonds, makes sense. But if you don't have anything to do with diamonds, why is it a cutter? That's not just for Cody, that's for anybody. Come up with your own fucking name if you're going to steal somebody else's move. Orton did. RKO, out of nowhere. Not, oh my God, there's the Randy cutter. Anyway, Malakai and Andrade went to the floor and huddled up and waited for Pac to do another one of his dives. Triple A beat up Jose the assistant, which was the biggest crowd reaction of this match, except for booing Cody every time they got the chance. But after Arn fired him up, the match started back and put the crowd to sleep. And that's what you mentioned. Not only MJF and Darby tear the house down, the Lucha Brothers and FTR were tearing the house down because this crowd does like that Lucha Brothers stuff, but their finish ruined that. And then they were followed by a good, solid single wrestling match that the people were into because it was Bryan Danielson. But then they saw every self-indulgent, masturbatory fantasy that those other fucking goofs could come up with for half an hour. So now they're trying to watch these guys have a tag team match where they don't like one of the baby faces and they're not particularly receptive to the whole match. And after Arn lit them up, they started back and they went back down again. And everybody in this match is good at something, but none of them are good at everything. Some guys' work is good, but his psychology sucks. Some guys' psychology is good, but his work sucks. Some guys, like Pac, you flip a switch on and off. He looks like a world beater, and he looks like a wrestling school student. There was a spot in this match, and you can't tell me now that Cody is not trying to turn heel on purpose, because he can't be this stupid. He did this on purpose. They beat up Pac in the ring forever while Cody was selling on the floor, but his selling on the floor included standing around, leaning on the rail, kneeling by the stairs, talking to Doc Samson, kneeling in the corner on the floor, but in the corner watching the match. He's not there when Pac gets to the corner to tag. And he walks around a little while, and finally he comes back to the corner. And when he comes back to the corner and starts working the tag, the house fucking came down with boos. It's the only time I've ever seen a babyface return to the corner after milking a potential injury to try to take the tag, and the people booed. But I've only been watching wrestling for 50 years. They did a simultaneous double cold tag, and Cody's comeback was accompanied by a cacophony of catcalls. The more he did, the more they booed. Cody got a figure four, and his own partner, Pac, while Cody's in charge, leans over and force tags Cody. But it wasn't legal either, because he's so short he had to stand up on the bottom rope and lean over the top to slap Cody. And if you're, obviously, as everyone knows except the people in this match, if your feet aren't on the apron, if they're on the rope, the tag doesn't count. But the referee said tag and allowed it. Then while Cody's got the figure four on the guy, Pac comes off the top with a splash on him. Boom. Pac goes to do a dive out of the ring, but Black pulls Cody into it, and Pac wipes Cody out. And then Black German suplexes Pac, gets a 2 count. Cody makes the save. They booed the babyface making the save. Finally, at this point, Pac pretty much leveled Andrade or whatever, went to the top, and again, and they've got a close-up on him at least, so you can't see the opponent laying there motionless, stock still forever. They've got a close-up on Pac, but he goes to the top rope. He almost again loses his balance like he does almost every time he goes up there, takes forever, and then hits the splash off the top, 1, 2, 3. That was the most blasé. They don't build anything to a big climactic point because they can't just do what they can do flawlessly and seamlessly every time. They have to go for a degree of difficulty of 10 and then do an execution of 5. And I said this on the experience yesterday, and I'll say it again. Pac, his physique and his groundwork, his mat work, his physical work in the ring looks great. His psychology is caca. And every time he tries to do these dives or go to the top rope or whatever, he's got a real man's body. He doesn't have to do the dives. But every time he starts doing that shit, it comes off either contrived or dodgy or whatever. There's always something he's doing. You think this is one of the greatest wrestlers in the world, and 3 minutes later, well, I'd kick this guy to wrestling school. It's the same fucking guy. I can't figure it out. So anyway, there was a 1, 2, 3 kind of bleh. There it was, like the turd floating in the punch bowl. And then explain this to me. Cash, without Dax, runs in and jumps on Pac and windmills him a time or two. And Tully's there, and they get a couple of shots on Cody, and they run right back out. And there was no Dax to be seen. This was rotten from top to bottom, from the Bizarro World mirror image reactions of if you had a match and said, okay, this is the reaction that I desire. Now, what would be the exact opposite of this? That's what they got. And from top to bottom, it was not very good. What'd you think?
Not very good. I think Cody's now going to become a complete distraction for anything he's a part of. Unless they embrace the way the fans are telling them to. And I thought the whole idea of AEW that was different than WWE was they were going to listen to the fans. The fans are telling you what they think of Cody, and you're still force-feeding him a certain way. You kept saying, and then the fans booed the babyface. You know, that's something you said throughout that review. Tell me why he's a babyface. Is he a babyface?
Well, he's on that side.
On what side?
He's in that position. He's just not acting like it.
I think they've got a big Cody problem.
But now here's the thing. Any experienced wrestling veteran of any kind, wrestler, manager, referee, promoter, announcer, whatever, would realize that when Cody stayed down there for so long, off the apron, but still obviously ambulatory, just kind of selling like he's dizzy or whatever, letting Pac get the shit kicked out of him and not being there when Pac got to the corner for the tag, you're trying to plant seeds for a heel turn.
Yeah.
But he's coming out and saying, I'm not going to turn heel, but that's a seed. And there was miscommunication between them when Pac hit the fucking dive or whatever. The point is he now swearing he's not going to turn heel and starting the heel turn so that he can be a liar and get more heat at the end of it? I don't know. But this is very bizarre shit we're looking at here. Also rotten.
And not very good, of course. Let's not leave that out. But of course, Jim, if you didn't like what you saw, you probably really hated what you heard. But at least there was an option to listen to something else while watching AEW.
That's right, because you mentioned, and we'll talk some about the announcing and excrements, attempts at same, and Tony Schiavone just being happy to be there. But if you don't want to listen to the announcing and or the guys calling loud spots, you can watch these AEW programs on your screen, and you can program your own audio soundtrack with a big old pair of Raycon wireless earbuds. Folks, for the past few years, we've been talking about the Raycons and how quality they are and how wonderful they make your life when you can shut out the outside world. You don't have to listen to nagging better halves. You don't have to listen to lawnmowers going on at the next door neighbors. You don't have to listen to the sound of the horn on that oncoming train bearing down on you. You can be lost in your own world with the seamless Bluetooth pairing and the comfortable noise-isolating fit of the Raycon Everyday Earbuds. They come with 3 new sound profiles to make sure that everything you're listening to sounds its best with just the right amount of bass. You got the pure mode. You got the balanced mode. You got the bass mode. And they offer 8 hours of playtime and a 32-hour battery life. Nothing lasts 32 hours on batteries. For heaven's sake, it just doesn't happen. Those battery-powered cars, the vibrators from Spencer's Gifts, nothing. But the Raycon wireless earbuds do. Not even the Diddlator Mach 3 lasts 32 hours on battery. But with the Raycon, there's also a built-in mic. You can take calls on your earbuds at the press of a button. And at another press of a button, you can tell them all to fuck off and leave you alone. So this holiday season, get them something they can use for phone calls, for music, for work, or for play, at home or on the go, or even on the go-go. Or just get a pair for yourself, or a pair and a spare. You're going to use them every day. And right now, go to BuyRaycon, that's BuyRaycon.com, BuyRaycon.com/JCE. You're going to unlock exclusive deals up to 20% off your Raycon order. But hurry, it's available for a limited time only for the Cult of Cornette members, because they know you're cool people. BuyRaycon.com/JCE to unlock up to 20% off your Raycons.